Hi, I'm Josh, founder and CEO here at Channel Bakers. We are an retail e-commerce agency, sure. Retail advertising is kind of a new thing since Amazon went off and launched their own ad platform that rivals Google and Facebook, right? That's the bulk of what we do, and I'm absolutely going to talk about an Amazon advertising tool that any brand can use regardless of whether or not you sell something on Amazon, but I'll save that for later. All right, so I have named my segment, that's what we're calling them, People Behavior Shifts, because it's about people, e-commerce trends and consumer trust, and I'm calling it brand safe data and then advertising with it. And I'll tell you why. Just the other day on Netflix, a show came out, you should definitely watch it. It's a documentary called The Social Dilemma. And then, there's the question of, why is Zuck in front of Congress? Okay, all of that is important. That's an important talk track. We're going to get to that. So that's one topic. The other is, we know e-commerce has grown, so tell us about that. And then also the number one thing I hear from CMOs all the time and or people who report to the CMO is, hey Josh, what are we missing? What's next? We need to do the next thing. Tell me some fresh new insight about the business and how to action it, right? And so looking at that, that's one of the other really important things we need to be thinking about, especially with all these people behavior shifts. So let's talk about that for a second. People say, everybody's, watching Netflix now, right? Well, Netflix saw their largest quarter in new subscribers in Q1, million new subscribers. That's putting data to that statement, right? eMarketer Pro the other day came out and said the number one activity that US adults are spending more time on, the number one was 58.5% had said that watching streaming content free with ads, that's the number one thing, 58.5% of US adults, that's what they said, right? And then the number two thing, subscription video on demand, which is like Netflix, right? So all of a sudden digital video, streaming content, it's a really part of the marketing conversation, definitely for this year in Q4, but also next year, right? And beyond, it's only gonna continue to grow. So looking at those two new behaviors, the other thing that I get asked too is from an e-commerce, everybody's shopping online right now, right? Yeah, well, 145 million new shoppers are shopping online now due to the pandemic. Yeah, for sure. 60% of Americans are now shopping online. That's another point to consider. And of the digital online grocery shoppers, 46% of them are also new. So that's really the stats behind this e-commerce trend. Okay, cool. So we've got data, we've got e-commerce, and then there's this thing with this Social Dilemma movie. Do we trust it? Data, do we trust data? Data, man. Is the thing I'm doing on Facebook still me liking this or that? Is that still a good idea? Should I be following the recommendations? And yeah, look, of course they are. They're tracking how many times some random dude starts checking out his ex-girlfriend and what have you, or any of you checking out your exes. You might get an ad for Love Potion. Not really, but I'm just saying, they're using that kind of behavioral data to advertise and sell people things. When I think about data and brand safety and the phrase brand safety, usually brand safety is centered around content. And by the way, you absolutely need to be thinking about re-scripting and doing all of your content due to the pandemic. There's some really important themes that you need to be considering and putting out as a brand now. So all that old content you did last year, that's gone. There's a new message, right? And you have to have that new reinvented message because people are out there absolutely reinventing themselves, and so are you as a business. We're all reinventing. You've got to come up with your reinvent message for the audience you serve and that you love and your core enthusiasts. You got to speak to them. You got to tell them your new message. You got to tell them where you stand on these things now, right? So yes, brand safe content, still very important. Brand safe data though, the Social Dilemma helped us understand there's a discrepancy between what's just smart marketing using data and kind of creepy, right? So look, Amazon, thinking about most trusted brands, Amazon is the #2 most trusted brand as of January 2020. That's probably changed from the pandemic. #1 was actually the US Postal Service, so I'm like not 100% sure that that data is accurate, because Amazon, I'm going to say they're #1 right now, trusted brand. But it took Bezos 20 years to build that trust. And he did that through the concept of like obsessing over the customer experience. And he did things too that were really smart, like you know, creating reviews and product reviews. Well, now the last official stat that I heard was that 55% of US online shoppers go to Amazon to do research for products first before going to Google or other traditional search engines. And some different variations of that have come out. 72% was the highest number I've heard, right? But even looking at that, he's built trust. Do you think Bezos is going to jeopardize that trust that he built, especially because his businesses are so multifaceted and retail being a really big important one? Do you think he's going to really be unscrupulous with that data? No. So the last other piece to that too is that it's purchase behavior data that really makes Amazon advertising great. It's purchase behavior data. And when we think about advertising, we're always trying to influence, the #1 action we're always trying to influence is a sale. What that sale conversion looks like to you might be different. For a lawyer, it might be new clients. For Amazon, it might be 100 new laptops, right? It's different, but it's the same concept. Advertising is usually leveraged, not always just for sales, but certainly one of the top, use cases for advertising, sales. Cool. Where's everybody shopping? Oh, Amazon, that's right. Okay, so they're shopping at Amazon, right? So you got Amazon now and their shopper behavior data, and then, yeah, your new message. Okay, cool, that's actually really cool. I like that strategy already. All right, what medium? We already discussed that digital video is pretty important. That's pretty cool, 58.5, with ads, cool. Does Amazon have something to action on that? Yeah, they came out with a platform that they've had for quite a minute, but it's getting more exciting. Their OTT, over-the-top advertising platform. That's advertising for video on demand, right, et cetera. It's the #1 thing that people are doing, right? That's what they came out with. By the way, all their digital video ad inventory for OTT sold out last year by September 16th, right before Q4. So looking at that, like OTT is a really cool thing. What is that? Well, OTT, just consider like putting an ad on a television or devices, sure, Kindles, Fire Sticks, TV, right? And no, it's not in the millions of dollars. It's actually not that at all. Fraction of it, actually. But then also, you now get to take your new messaging as a brand, your brand safe content, and put it into video. And then you get to put it on TVs across the country using Amazon shopper behavior data to make sure that we're targeting the most relevant audience to who you care about as a brand, right? And again, that could be leveraged not just for a product sold on a retail shelf. Like you could be leveraging that yourself as well for your brand. Imagine you have a subscription-based model business where people have to go to your website in order to sign up. Reviver plates was one of those, right? I can only get my cool Reviver plates, my e-plates, right, on their site. But Reviver could absolutely use Amazon OTT advertising and even get geographical, right? So cool. Now they can go put their cool plates in front of Californians because that's one of the states that's been approved to use them. Awesome. So this is where I love being able to say, okay, the trend is people are online, they're shopping online, they're consuming content online. That has grown. The #1 thing they said they're okay with is getting ads. That's okay too. Amazon actually has a brand safe from a data standpoint ad platform that also puts you on connected devices, including televisions. And you can do that using that data with a really refined, cool, new, reinvented message. Yeah. That's like the most obvious thing for me when I think about the reinventing of my own business, and what I help my clients do is find cool new avenues like that, especially when markets and budgets are shifting, right? So there it is, my drop the mic moment. Sure, I'm an Amazon advertising fan, having a lot of fun with it, definitely feel it's brand safe. And yeah, I hope that some of those e-commerce trend stats I gave you kind of fill in the blanks on some of those like everybody shopping online stories you hear. Right on, guys. Catch you later.